Everybody always has something, right? And it's interesting. You don't really know what you have until you've been attacked, and then sometimes you find out the hard way that you might not have enough. But say somebody is, New Year's resolution, they want a little more cyber resilience. They reach out through seeing something like a presentation in an event like this. What are they in for, and what do you recommend they think about as they get ready for that conversation?
It is such a hard task to even think about. Where do you get started? So really what it boils down to is from the Zerto side of things, it's determining, like we've seen in Mike's presentation, if you are looking for that operationally efficient, hey, we are looking to protect these virtual machines or applications with Zerto, then what is on top of mind for you is that these apps are tier 0 to tier 1, mission critical. If these go down for even 5 minutes, then our business is, like we've seen in some of the examples, losing close to millions of dollars per hour in itself. And that's the benefit of Zerto from a DR standpoint, is we now bring those apps up very, very quickly, and you're operationally efficiently back online as quick as possible. Now, that does come with a cost, right? It's very expensive to replicate things that quickly, to tracking changes all the time and having to move it as flexibly as you can between on-prem public cloud providers with Zerto itself. And then that's where you sort of, like Mike also shown in his last slide there, we can sort of tear off those 3-4 layer applications to maybe a backup or another technology that you might not need that level of data protection or requirement to come back to, right? You don't need to be as operationally efficient or back online as quickly as you would with something like Zerto. So really your needs are going to vary, and it is best to have a defense in-depth approach, as many layers of data protection as possible in order to be as combative to ransomware as we see.
Well, so I want to dig in again on the difference between the Cyber Resilience Vault and the Cloud Vault, because I want to make sure people understand the difference, because there's a lot of vaulting going on there. So, so just walk us through that one. Walk us through that one more time, and also I think what people will want to know is which one is best for me. How do people think about which one they should be angling toward?
So I can take that. I'll take that one. So the Cyber Resilience Vault, again, it provides that isolated air-gapped environment for highly sensitive workloads and organizations requiring that additional layer of security against ransomware. The Cyber Vault is a combination of the Zerto technology with the HPE hardware, so storage, compute, networking. The Zerto Cloud Vault, on the other hand, is a cloud-based immutable storage solution that offers a scalable, a little bit more flexible solution, making it more ideal for organizations that maybe prioritize cloud-first strategies, need to protect workloads across hybrid or multi-cloud environments, don't want to deal much with the costs associated with maintenance for hardware. And of course, again, it's hosted by a managed service provider, which takes care of it for you. So you're not, have to worry about that aspect of it like you might with the Cyber Vault. The choice between the two depends on, again, your company's really specific needs. So for cloud-based protection and recovery with that scalability and less maintenance costs, the Cloud Vault might be the option for you. The Cyber Vault might be better for others who would require that max isolation and security for their critical data, and maybe don't take that cloud first approach.
Yeah. So how does the Cloud Vault protect against ransomware attacks versus traditional backup solutions? I mean, where do the differences start to show?
Absolutely. So in one area in particular is the idea of immutability. So with our Zerto Cyber Resilience Vault, the immutable snapshots and replication happening between the electric components within it provide that extra layer of protection. The idea of Zerto being the main recoverability tool in it, being able to recover from a checkpoint, doing so quickly, is the other major difference and benefit from that standpoint. But I think if you're talking about Cloud Vault in itself, really what you're doing is you're offloading a lot of that risk and responsibility of having to maintain that immutability, scanning everything within this vault itself to these trusted MSP providers that have already checked the boxes in all the compliance areas, and you're just simply replicating to them and letting them handle the cyber resilience and recovery themselves. So really a major difference compared to having to manage a backup by itself, the usability of it, and again, taking advantage of an MSP, offloading that risk, and letting them do what they do best to protect you is just an enormous benefit.
One of the phenomenons I think we see here at Solutions Review is that some people believe, I'm too small to get ransomwared. What do you see in terms of attacks that have happened, size of companies that you're working with, and advice that you would offer up to folks that are maybe thinking they might be on the cusp of needing or not needing something as powerful as Zerto?
It's not a unique problem. Ransomware, it's not only large companies, obviously. I mean, those are the ones you see the headlines, right? Because when a Fortune 500 company gets hit, that's everywhere. Everybody sees it. Everybody knows the name. But small businesses, medium-sized businesses, you name it, we protect community credit unions, small hospital systems, all the way up to, American Airlines. So it's not a unique threat. As I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, unfortunately, it's a growing threat in severity and sophistication and frequency. And if you're a small business, honestly, it's going to hurt you more, obviously, because you just are more limited resource-wise. So you might not necessarily be able to afford that ransom, whereas a large corporation, they might be able to afford it. They might not want to pay it, but they can, obviously take that hit a little bit easier, so to speak, than a small business. And then the last piece also that I wanted to mention too is Zerto and backup, as I've said a few times now, and Anthony said, there's time and place for both. So I'm sure everybody, whether you're small, medium, large, has some sort of backup strategy, but every company, regardless of size, has specific applications that just can't go down. Like if they go down, they're in trouble. So for those tier 0 mission critical applications, I'm speaking as objectively as possible. It's in your best interest to have a solution like Zerto in place, so if something happens, you're back up and running, versus a traditional or legacy backup solution where you could be down for several hours, days, and obviously most businesses, especially smaller ones, can't afford that. So you can have kind of the best of both worlds, where you can have Zerto for those mission critical applications, and Anthony mentioned it's a little more expensive, but ultimately worth it. And then for those other applications where you don't mind the downtime, you can use a backup solution.
And that's the thing too. So as an SMB, coming back to that question overall, right, you're not more safe or secure than anybody else. I think one, again, staggering statistic that Mike showed in the beginning is just the rise of ransomware with generative AI and how easy it is to use. I think you're going to see, what we are seeing is hackers and things like that develop this technology, adopt this sort of technology, and they're not going after big companies necessarily because they know they have the most sort of security out there. So why not attack mom and pop shop with my generated AI code when I could practice this in, there's sort of these many different smaller organizations rather than attacking just one large one. So if you're a small business, don't think, nobody's going to come after me. people go after opportunity, and that's pretty much it wherever they have. But again, to Mike's point, whatever is going to protect you is what is best for your organization. If that means doing a day or 2 day backup, and that's all you guys can afford and have the money for, then implement that strategy as soon as possible. Having something is better than having absolutely nothing at the end of the day.
If your business would like to be featured in a future event, contact us today.